So I do have a little bit of a confession to make. The title of this video is a little misleading and clickbaity. And what I mean by that is that it's not the entire truth in the title. Being yourself is toxic if you don't reflect on your actions, ideas, and if you think you can do no wrong. I don't want to put that all in the title though, because that's kind of a long title and it's unnecessary. How often do you analyze what it is that you're doing, like your actions, your actual perspective of how skewed your, because everybody has a skewed perspective. No matter how unbiased or unskewed you think that your mindset may be, we all have a skewed perspective based off of what our experiences are in life and what we tend to see. We're limited by the information that we receive in terms of how we perceive the world. I know for me personally, up until about a year ago, I never did sit back and realize what I was actually doing and putting out into the world. I wasn't really self-conscious. I was kind of, but I didn't really take a hard critical look at myself. And it's hard to be critical of yourself because you want to be critical of yourself, but you don't want to be too critical of yourself. You don't want to do self-hatred. You want to be a productive type of critical. Sometimes I thought I was too critical of myself. Sometimes I thought that I wasn't hard enough on myself. And I had to come to the realization that it was a healthy thing to do and not to dwell on it. We're our own worst critic. Which is very true. A lot of times we are so critical of ourselves that we think that other people think the same thing about us. Even though we live with ourselves 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, other people don't live with us, so they don't know anything about us. They can only see what you tend to put out in the world. You can criticize yourself, but you can also fix those critiques that you have about yourself. For instance, for myself, I think that there are a few different flaws that I've been realizing that I've been wanting to fix, and it's gonna kind of be maybe TMI. People say TMI, too much information, whatever. One of my most major flaws is just being that I think I masturbate too much. Even me saying that out loud, it kind of sounds funny. Maybe even like it really not that big of a problem, not big of an issue. At first, I didn't really think so either. I've been doing it since I was 14. I'm 27 now, and I still do it. I started to realize though that for most people it may not be that big of an issue, but for me, I'll be late to work. I will procrastinate a lot more, not being able to be aroused during having regular sex. I've been doing that almost daily for the past from 14 all the way to 27. That's 13 years, that's a long ass time. And the reason why I realize that I do it so much is because either I'm bored or I'm stressed out or I'm unsatisfied with my actual life and what I'm doing in life. And I'm not really out there like that. I'm not actively looking for women. I thought that a substitute for that would be masturbation and porn. I know it sounds inconsequential in retrospect and not that big of a deal. To me, it was a big deal because I've even told myself, other people do it too. And it's healthy for you to do it and all this other stuff that I was using as an excuse to keep me from stopping. Another thing that I'm really bad at right now is just procrastination, kind of piggybacking off of the masturbation thing. But like when I'm trying to make a YouTube video, for example, or like trying to make a blog post, or from writing sometimes I write songs or poems or spoken word or whatever it may be, cleaning up my house sometimes, if I'm taking a shower, whatever it may tend to be, whatever I'm trying to do, taking out trash, cutting my hair sometimes, like if I need to cut my hair, but I'm just like, I'll do it tomorrow, constantly. And that's something I need to work on. It's something that I am getting better at, but I'm still not quite yet where I want to be. And I don't think I think it'll always be there. That thing is something, it's a battle. It's something I really constantly got to work on. Thankfully now, I used to procrastinate on my workouts, but now thankfully I'm a little bit better at them. I'm more consistent with it. Even if I skip it in the morning, I'll do it in the afternoon. I want to get to a point though where I'm not procrastinating, where I'm able to just do something, say I'm going to do something in my head, actually do, right then and there if I have the time to do it. Right now we're still being in quarantine. I do have a lot of time, working from home, things like that. There's pretty much almost no excuse for procrastination on anything, at least for me, because I have no kids, I don't have a girlfriend, my family, I just kind of FaceTime them here and there, but most of the time I'm just in my house, I'm just not doing anything. I'm just laying down, watching YouTube video, watching other people live their dream, not out here actively trying to live my dream. It takes work. It takes a lot of work, and it's something that I'm starting to realize, and it's something that I'm working on for sure. Another thing that I would say that I need to work on as well, it's just going to be working on my financial status. I think I spend too much money on eating out and not cooking enough. So something that I have been doing as of actually just this last Sunday or a couple of Sundays, just meal prepping, especially for lunch. Cook something for 5 days and then I'll cook something that I can eat for 5 days for lunch, and then, just warm that up in the microwave so I have something to eat. Something that I used to do constantly, was just cooking, and something I fell off on. And you know, like I said, I'm getting back into it, but especially when you're broke, you know, you gotta get back into it. I have no choice. I'm trying to make it a choice. Even when I do have money, I'm not trying to spend it. I'm trying to save it. You know, just go grocery shopping and then cook. So for the next thing, I think this also kind of ties back into the whole procrastination thing, but I do think it is a little bit separate. That's just being lazy. Being lazy to me is just sitting around doing nothing all day, just laying in bed. Like I said, I would watch YouTube videos all day for like 7 hours a day and just watch other people do other entertaining stuff. I wouldn't do anything productive myself. I would just listen to music, watch YouTube videos, maybe cook, maybe work out. And that would be my day. And I wasn't actually actively trying to create anything for myself. I wasn't putting myself out there or anything like that. I was just hoping that things would happen for me, which they're not just gonna happen. You know, I have to get up and make them happen and actually do stuff. And I did expect things to go kind of quick in terms of my success with everything, because you know, you think you're making a point and you're making a good point and oh, people would like this and all this other stuff, but then you have to grow your audience. You know, you have to, and that's something that I thought would just happen instantly because, you know, oh well, everybody else is doing it, so obviously I could do it, right? But I was wrong. You know, when I was doing my podcast, I thought that just a few podcasts in, you know, I'll grow my audience like that, which it didn't, of course. So it's something I have to come to the realization that even though what I'm saying makes sense and all this other stuff, it's not gonna happen overnight. You know, it's gonna take years of me actually doing this. You know, I may not even see any growth for the next few years, you know, but I have to continue doing it, continue getting to and knowing that I'm doing the right thing, and then eventually, you know, it'll happen. So a while back, in one of my previous videos, I actually thought I was doing too much with the podcast, the YouTube videos, the blogging, maybe the songwriting. I was trying to make beats as well. You know, I was doing all this stuff that I like to do, and I thought I was doing all this stuff, and I was doing too much. I was spreading myself too thin, and then I started realizing that it wasn't that I was doing too much. It was that I was wanting to do the minimum effort and then try to get the most results out of doing nothing. And something that I, you know, constantly came up when I was growing up was the definition of insanity, which, if you don't know, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing but expecting a different result, which is what I was doing. I was insane. That's just some of the things right now that I'm working to fix. Just realize that I need to work on. And I'm pretty sure if I really think about it, I can come up with a lot more, and this video can be like an hour long. Those are just some of the major things that I could think of right now when it comes to the things that I'm actually working on and things that I'm trying to get accomplished. And for all these things that I say, you know, it's a never-ending battle. You know, it's not going to just end in one day. It's not going to just take a day or two or whatever. I have to be consistent with what I'm doing. And sometimes I tend to lose sight with it, and I need to remind myself that it's okay not to be an overnight success. It's okay not to just see results all of a sudden, you know, out of nowhere. But if you'd like, you know, comment some of the things that you are working on yourself, some of the flaws maybe that you've seen within yourself. And once you comment them, you know, start actually thinking about fixing whatever the issue is, whatever the problem is, you know, actually start fixing and working on what it is that you're wanting to work on. That being said though, I'll see y'all next video.